So how did this New York MTA bus crash like this? Like they basically crashed into a parked car. What happened? I'm an actual bus operator in Sacramento, California. And that's the West Coast, the complete opposite of the East Coast, where New York is at.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Speaking of the New York and Sacramento connection, take a look at my hoodie. It simply says, "We move Sacktown." We, as in the bus operators out here in the Sacramento region, which actually includes a whole bunch of transit agencies out here in Sacramento, two of which I've driven for since I've lived in California. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In an amazing account on Instagram called We Move New York, they gifted me with this hoodie and they customized it for me because I don't move New York because I don't drive buses in New York, but I do drive buses in Sacramento, also known as Sacktown. So we got We Move Sacktown. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And make sure you follow We Move New York on Instagram. Now back to this situation here. We have the wrong individual moving New York in this particular moment. The good news is this person is not actually a New York MTA bus operator. However, they did pose as one. So they're a fake bus driver. We don't appreciate that. So this took place Bath Beach, Brooklyn, Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Ironically, May 20th is my birthday. So I celebrated a birthday on May 20th. And that's the same day that this foolishness took place all the way across the country. A man wearing an MTA shirt walked onto a Brooklyn bus depot and allegedly drove off with a running bus. Jose Santiago, 32 years old, he's accused of walking past security at the Omer Park bus depot on Harway Avenue in Bath Beach. Side note, if I pronounced any of those names wrong, please don't crucify me in the comments. Just kindly correct me because I'm not from New York. He then apparently got behind the wheel of a vehicle, an MTA New Flyer bus that was already running at around 12:20 a.m. on Tuesday. Police said the driver was still on the bus. They said Santiago drove the bus off the property despite the efforts of the MTA employee to stop him. He's accused of driving around the corner of Harway Avenue and 25th Avenue and crashing into a parked vehicle. The video shows the employee exit the bus first, followed by the suspect in a Yankees shirt. Santiago was taken into custody and charged with burglary, illegal entry with intent, grand larceny, criminal possession of stolen property, reckless endangerment, unauthorized use of a vehicle, trespass, and VTL violation, no license to operate a bus. And yeah, the way this dude drove the bus, clearly he has no license to drive a bus. For all you people out there that's like, oh, it's so easy to drive a bus. I can do that in my sleep. First of all, you don't want to drive any vehicle in your sleep, but it's not as easy as you think it is. I mean, it can be easy, but you have to get used to the way you handle a bus. It's pretty wild that this person stole a bus with an actual bus operator on board the bus, and they were bold enough to go ahead and do it. They're like, oh, there's a driver on the bus? No problem. I'm still gonna steal it. Still gonna steal it. An MTA spokesperson released a statement in response to the incident. The NYC transit bus operator, who was on board at the time of the incident, is withheld from service pending results of an internal review. The bus should not have been accessible to a non-employee. Thankfully, there were no injuries, said MTA spokesperson Lucas Bergerano. I don't know how to say that last name. So they are blaming the bus operator who was on board the bus at the depot. They're saying that nobody should have been able to access the bus. Now that's interesting to me. I don't know what the protocols are in New York with the MTA, but the person who stole the bus walked past security. So obviously they have some level of security prior to getting into the yard or the garage where the buses are. Now, I've been driving buses for a long time. I've driven school buses and transit buses for two different transit agencies. Once I'm in the yard and I'm doing a pre-trip, there's no way for me to necessarily keep somebody off of the bus because my door is generally going to be open when I'm doing my walk around, and maybe if I'm inside the bus for a little while, my doors could be open. I'm wondering, how are they shifting the blame to the bus operator and saying that no one who was a non-operator should have been able to access the bus? I don't get it. Maybe they have some sort of protocol where they're supposed to stand in front of the door and look and make sure nobody that's a non-driver is trying to get onto the bus. I don't know. I would think you would maybe say something about the security. Now, if some details come out that show that it was the bus operator's fault, that is fine. But based off of what they've described, at this point, I don't understand how the blame is being put on the bus operator. Again, unless they know some other details that we have not been informed of yet. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out. So let me know what you all think. Do you think it's the bus driver's fault for individuals who find their way onto the property of the transit agency, bus company that you drive for? They get past security and they make their way onto your bus or onto the property. Are bus drivers supposed to be held accountable and responsible for that?